For 8 years, I thought I had it all. The perfect marriage, 2 amazing kids, a home filled with laughter. I'm a high school teacher, shaping young minds, and my wife, she was a sales associate, the vibrant, loving center of our family. We built a life that felt like a dream. It was stable, it was happy, it was real. Or so I thought. We weren't just a couple, we were a team, navigating the beautiful chaos of parenthood and partnership. Looking back, it's chilling how perfectly constructed the illusion was. Every family dinner, every school play, every whispered "I love you" at night felt like another brick in the solid foundation of our life together. I had no reason to doubt it, no reason to look for cracks. I was content, blissfully unaware that the ground beneath my feet was about to crumble. Our social life was intertwined with our neighbors, Mark and Sarah. They weren't just neighbors, they were our best friends. Mark and I would grill in the backyard, talking about everything from sports to our kids' futures. Our wives were inseparable. We spent holidays together, celebrated birthdays, and our kids grew up like siblings. We were a foursome, a little suburban tribe. These were the moments I cherished: the easy laughter, the shared bottles of wine on a warm evening, the feeling of genuine community. When I thought of my happiest memories over the past few years, they were almost always there, smiling right alongside us. They were family. That's the only way to describe it. This deep, comfortable friendship made our perfect life feel even richer, even more complete. It's funny how the things that bring you the most comfort can also hide the deepest betrayals. The shift was subtle at first, almost unnoticeable. A little more distance in her eyes. A phone that was suddenly always angled away from me. When I'd ask if everything was okay, she'd laugh it off. "You're imagining things, honey. Just stressed from work." It was classic gaslighting, but I didn't see it then. I just saw the woman I loved telling me I was being paranoid. I'd apologize, feeling guilty for even doubting her. She'd say things like, "After all we've been through, you really think I'd be dishonest with you?" And it would cut me to the core. I started questioning my own sanity. Was I being too sensitive? Was my own stress from teaching making me see problems that weren't there? I doubled down on being a better husband, bringing her flowers, planning date nights, trying to bridge a gap that I couldn't even properly define. I was fighting a ghost, trying to fix a problem she insisted didn't exist, all while she was creating a real one right under my nose. The day my world shattered started like any other. I was grading papers at the kitchen table. My wife had taken our daughter to a friend's birthday party. Our son was with my parents for the weekend. The house was quiet. I came across an old tablet we hadn't used in years, one we used to let the kids play games on. I powered it on, thinking of clearing it out to sell. It was still logged into my wife's old social media account, an account she said she'd deleted ages ago. Curiosity, or maybe some gut instinct I'd been suppressing for months, made me look. And there it was. A message thread that stretched back for over a year. A thread not with a stranger, but with Mark. Our neighbor. Our best friend. My hands started shaking. I couldn't breathe. The messages weren't just flirty texts. They were a detailed chronicle of an entire secret relationship. They talked about their stolen moments when I was at work or when she was supposedly out with friends. They described meeting up in hotel rooms, in his car, even in our own neighborhood while I was just a few houses away, completely oblivious. They laughed about close calls, about the excuses they gave to me and Sarah. But the part that broke me, the part that I'll never forget, was reading their messages from our last joint family vacation. While I was taking photos of all of us smiling together on the beach, they were messaging each other about meeting up later that night after I was asleep. My entire reality, my happiest memories, were instantly rewritten as a lie. They were laughing at me. Both of them. The illusion of my perfect life didn't just crack, it exploded into a million pieces right there in my quiet kitchen. The confrontation was the quietest, most soul-crushing conversation of my life. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I just sat her down when she got home and placed the tablet on the table between us. I watched the color drain from her face. The denial came first, weak and pathetic. It's not what it looks like. But how do you deny a year's worth of messages? How do you deny photos? Then came the blame. It was my fault. I wasn't attentive enough. I worked too much. I didn't understand her. She tried to twist the narrative, to make me the villain in the story of her betrayal. The woman I had loved and trusted for 8 years was a stranger, desperately trying to justify the unjustifiable. I saw no remorse, only the selfish panic of being caught. In that moment, I knew my marriage wasn't just broken, it had never been what I thought it was. It was a performance, and the show was finally over. The aftermath was a blur of pain, logistics, and lawyers. Telling my kids was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. How do you explain to a child that the life they've known is ending because of choices they can't possibly understand? I had to see Mark almost every day, his car parked in the driveway next door, a constant, sickening reminder. Sarah, his wife and my wife's best friend, was completely destroyed. Our tight-knit group of friends was fractured, forced to pick sides in a tragedy they never saw coming. I moved out, finding a small apartment, and began the process of building a new life from the wreckage. There were days I could barely get out of bed, the weight of the betrayal was so heavy. The gaslighting had left deep scars, I second-guessed every memory, every interaction. But slowly, very slowly, the healing began. It started with focusing on my kids, on being the most stable, present father I could be for them. Their laughter became my lifeline. I threw myself into teaching, finding purpose in my work. I started going to therapy, which was a game changer. It gave me a safe space to unpack the trauma, to understand that her choices were about her, not about my worth. It helped me learn to trust my own perception again. I reconnected with old friends who reminded me what genuine connection felt like. I started running, not away from my problems, but towards a stronger version of myself. Each step was a small victory against the pain. Today, my life is different, but it's mine. It's authentic. I co-parent with my ex-wife. It's not always easy, but we make it work for the kids. I eventually sold the house and moved to a new neighborhood, leaving the ghosts of the past behind. The pain is still there sometimes, at the lake where a happy memory used to be. But it no longer defines me. I learned that you can survive the unthinkable. I learned that true strength isn't about never falling, it's about how you get back up. My story is one of profound betrayal, but it's also a story of resilience and rediscovery. I found out who I was when everything I thought I had was stripped away. If you're going through something similar, please know you are not alone, and it does get better. The path forward is difficult, but it leads to a place of peace and self-worth that no one can ever take from you again. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It wasn't easy to share, but I hope it can help someone else who might be feeling lost. If you resonated with this, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more stories about navigating life's toughest challenges. Take care of yourselves.